This is something I really resonate with right here. All this stuff this guy's saying. He says, I've noticed this for a while, but I haven't been able to articulate why or even put any term or name to it. The most recent example was when I watched the new trailer to A Christmas Story Christmas. Oh my god. That's probably a really good example of this. That is definitely a really bland movie. And the reason I'm even like kind of going over stuff like this, like looking for stuff like this and reading on stuff, is because I just saw the Goosebumps movie trailer. It's like a new movie, um, and we're looking at what? It's almost the new year here, 2025, like a couple days away from 2025. Okay, and the new Goosebumps movie trailer is out, and it looks. There was a couple of redeeming shots, like just shots, clips of the movie in the trailer, and look good. But I have this feeling, and obviously the look of the film is just very bland. It's very, very bland. So I don't know. Um, all the last few Goosebumps, all the movies that have this whole new remake of Goosebumps. I mean, obviously the show back in the day was good. It must have been so good that Adam Sandler stole one of their stories. There's an episode called Click, and he made a movie called Click, and it's really pretty much the exact same thing, except the movie was obviously had a deeper story because it had to go on for like, 5 times longer. Anyways, so let's check this out. I couldn't post a comment on here because apparently I'm still banned. Thought they only had a 3-day ban on me, but not. Okay, A Christmas Story Christmas. Terrible fucking movie. Just like Vacation, they supposedly like remade Vacation, the Vacation movie that was originally National Lampoon's Chevy Chase, and my God, you wouldn't even think it was a vacation movie. Like it was so bad. There's no style to it. It's all just so bland, and like why they even called it a vacation movie. They just should have changed a few names and then just had it its own movie, and then it could have just been another fucking factory made movie that looks like dog shit. But at least you're not trying to ruin a fucking name, because you're really not even ruining the name of Vacation. You're just making yourself look like a fool because the movie, the video looks nothing like Vacation. There's no nostalgia. There's no feelings of like. There's nothing there to make it a vacation movie. It's not Vacation. It's not National Lampoon's Vacation. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's dog shit. And same with A Christmas Story Christmas. You're gonna fucking try and spoil the name of A Christmas Story, but really, you're not spoiling the name. The makers of this and everyone involved are just, they stink. It's dog shit. Well, I mean, I try not to place the blame on actors too much. Uh, but they're at fault a little bit too, sort of. Anyway, let's get back to this. Going off. So, it says trailer are their own thing. I don't know what D really means by this, because I think the music along with the jokes they put throughout always feel the same in every trailer. But regardless, new movies look weird. It's not all of them, but a large majority feel this way. I don't know if it's because the different shots they use or if they all just follow the same production procedure. There's probably a little bit of all that. That makes sense. But they look like bad TV shows. I don't think it's nostalgia, but old movies look different. Maybe it was a limitation of technology or money that made them be filmed a certain way or use certain angles and shots. I don't know. This may not make any sense, but it's something I've thought about. Well, and I think it's also passion. You know, I think a lot of these guys, either they don't have the passion for it, or they're just kind of floating along, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of those directors back in the day, especially when they're first starting out, I mean, look at Quentin Tarantino. He had to blow people's minds so that he could get into this industry, you know? And he had great stories, and he still does. I can't believe he's trying to fucking stop at 10 movies. It's silly. Anyway, so it seems like just people don't have the struggle anymore, and not enough people have that struggle anymore, and not enough people have the passion anymore. And there's a lot of times there's kind of it's interwoven, those two things, you know, passion and you know, a struggle. And let's see here. What's going on here? It says, I actually think it looks too perfect. Yeah, I agree. Everyone is lit perfectly, filmed digitally on RAW, and tweaked to perfection. It makes everything have a fake feeling to it. Commercials use the same cameras and color correction, so everything looks the same. Every shot looks like it could be used in stock photo. Man, that is a. Oh, that is a that's a punch to the gut, huh? If you if you're making movies and you read something like this and you fit in that category, that's crappy. That's crappy. And it's good to think. It's good as a filmmaker to hear that and to be like, well, I don't really want to be that, you know? Anyway, let's see what's going on here. Um, it says no film grade, no shadows on faces, no wide shots. I have a theory that going from tungsten to LED lighting, it says lightning, but it's lighting, added to this as well. Yeah, I agree with that. But you know, I have noticed with LED lighting, um, if it's good to film in with the frame rate and everything, um, if you have more of a like a gold tone. But still, you're just trying to replicate the fucking tungsten, is what, you know, what it basically comes back to. Tungsten is a lot of times that's well, maybe it's not, but I know there's grow lights that have that color to it, and I think that's basically what he's getting at. But you know, those were so fucking hot back in the day. But you know, that's where we come down to the whole struggle thing. You know, you need the energy to light those lights. You need to be able to suffer through that heat. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all this struggle that people had back in the day, and there's less and less struggle now. And that's why when you do get an artist, filmmaker, rapper, fucking musician of any sort of artist, if they've come up through that struggle, some of their best work is either during that struggle or right after that struggle. And, you know, sometimes it even carries you in, you know, for a while throughout adulthood and stuff. But it's the struggle. Sadly, you know, you don't want your kids to struggle, but then, like, you don't want them to have any character and to not strive for anything, you know? So it's really being a parent is also an interesting situation. It says, I have a theory that going to tungsten from LED lighting added to this as well. Tungsten allows for more accurate color in camera, but LEDs are cheaper, cooler, and more convenient. So the solution is to film on a nice digital camera and fix the color in post. Yeah. See, that's why a lot of times I like if, because I film outside a lot, and I also let sun come through the windows a lot. And just the other day, we had this crazy, beautiful sunset. You know, Arizona has these amazing sunsets, and I'm around mountains and shit. So we had this amazing sunset, and it was purple and orange. And for a while, because I only noticed it because I looked out the window and I noticed, fuck, dude, the whole outside is purple right now. And I was looking the opposite end of the fucking sunset. So I was like, whoa. I get out there, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. So I try and get a nice high shot, and I'm up there. Sadly, my fucking camera was not, because I use my phone, because that's the only thing I can shoot in really good 1080p. I can also shoot 4K and 8K. That's the only thing I can shoot in those in those high qualities, and it's already where I also do my editing. So might as well just all film on my phone. But my fucking phone was not wanting to zoom. Every time I would zoom in, this is one of those newer Samsungs. Every time I would zoom in, uh, it would freeze, and I'm still having that issue right now. So I'm actually working on when I'm filming right now. I actually have to film up close. I can't do any real long shots where I zoom in, uh, even just a little bit, really, because it freezes my phone. I don't know what's going on. So, uh, yeah, and like I say, I like to use a lot of natural lighting, and I'm an opportunist. So if I see something, I have to go and shoot. But when you actually have all these actors and a set and stuff, it's totally different from what I'm doing right now. That's I only can I can only make movies on certain stories that I have right now because I don't have really too many actors at all under my disposal, so I have to really kind of limit my story. I have so many stories that I need to get at least two, three actors to help me on, along with myself acting in it, probably at some point, and there's so many stories where I need at least a few actors in it, and I need more of a crew, so I'm kind of saving them till the end. I'm hoping to sort of uh, get more of a following online before I start like trying to spend money again because sadly you spend money anyways just doing anything, and I spend money making movies, not much, but I've spent more back in the day, really. Once you've got stuff, you've got stuff. Um, then you can just sort of add to your collection. Anyways, so um, let's see. So the solution is to film on a nice digital camera and fix color and post, and I agree with that. Yeah, that's why yeah, it's good to get into lighting and all that. You really do got to. However, this makes for less creativity on set and less use of shadows. Yeah, I agree completely on that. The creativity of yeah, lighting does add a lot to it. It really does. And then, post production, back in the day, you would just put a certain lens on your camera and that would change certain hues and stuff like that. Maybe it's not called a lens. Anyway, so there was an attachment either way that kind of gave you different looks on when you're filming. It says green screens make it worse as they also require flatter lighting to work. Oh wow, I didn't even think about that, but that's true. Marvel films are very obviously mostly made in post, and they all look very flat and not real. Even shitty low-budget '90s comedies look better, and I think this can be attributed to the lighting. Wow. I think the reason we see less wide shots is because cinematographers today are all going for beauty shots, which is easier to do with a close up or a medium shot. It's actually exhausting to see a lot of close ups in a movie and leaves people less engaged. Close ups, that sucks. That's all I can film right now are close ups. I hate that. And it's partly because of my camera, and then the other part would be because I don't have a crew. So, unless if I get a crew that can actually work my camera, annoying. Very quickly, let's see, they are used so frequently in commercials because they are trying to tell a story very quickly. So they show a big smiling face and cut to a sandwich. That's what these straight to streaming commercials look like. Sandwich commercials. Hmm. Oh my god. One thing I noticed a lot when watching older films is how sweaty and oily people were, like excessively. Not in a bad way, but it definitely felt grittier and way more real. I've always been iffy about the perfect look of costumes set in like the supposedly shitty conditions of medieval times or slums. That gets into a good point too. Also dialogue, dialogue. When you're talking to someone, most people don't have perfect dialogue. they'll struggle to come up with a word sometimes, or they'll struggle to say a word right, or just like with me, sometimes I'll start to mumble a little bit, or so there's a lot of that stuff you really watch out for when you're making a movie because you don't usually want it. But sometimes I feel like sometimes you need to add a little bit of it, at least, to it, to add character to your character. You know what I'm saying? To the person, because they're supposed to be a little more human. And that's weird. That's kind of like the movie Slacker. It's way more relaxed, and that's a lot of times what I'm going for. Or it's more of an improv type of performance. I don't know. Anyway, so I just figured I'd share this and some of my thoughts with y'all.